Good afternoon. I'm speaking to Umar Isa Dandago on his channel Global Arena TV, and my name is Professor Shakuntala Banaji. I'm a professor of media, culture and social change at the London School of Economics in the Department of Media and Communications. What I've been asked to comment on today and what I'm going to talk to you about is the appointment of Rishi Sunak, the first Indian origin Prime Minister of the United Kingdom. What's really interesting about this situation is that there are many people of Indian origin in the UK who are celebrating this very uncritically because they feel that it's a really amazing win for representation to have a person of color, a practicing Hindu, someone with a background first in East Africa and then in Asia, beyond that, in the role of the Prime Minister. And I think it's true to say that, as with the appointment of other people of color in countries of the global north as in positions of power, there is a separate representational goal, which means that regardless of the kind of person in power, this role has a meaning, and that there is something that resonates with people in seeing someone from their community in this kind of role. However, we should also look at a person's policies. And so there are also plenty of people of Indian origin here and people of color here in the UK who are extremely anxious, and quite rightly so, about an unelected prime minister who's taken over at a time when his party, the Conservatives, have subjected the country to blow after blow. Economic shocks in terms of extreme austerity for more than 10 years, which see poverty levels at record highs in the UK, extremely anti-migrant policies and an unfriendly environment, which means it's becoming increasingly difficult for people from the global south and from India included to come here and work or study without fear of being deported or asked to leave or asked to pay extortionate amounts for visas, and an atmosphere in which the new Home Secretary, Suella Braverman, who was the previous Home Secretary and had to resign, has come back in an unaccountable fashion and pursues dreams of deporting migrants and refugees to Rwanda on boats. So we are not looking at a situation in which Rishi Sunak is heading up a cabinet which is particularly friendly either to people who come from low-income backgrounds or to people who come from ethnic minority and migrant backgrounds. All in all, if you look at the policies that this new Prime Minister is going to pursue, he has got a real long way to go before he can convince an electorate that this is going to be a sustainable and economically successful and compassionate government. So far, under this government, including the leadership of Rishi Sunak as the previous Chancellor, we've seen massive cuts to people's lives and benefits, massive cuts and privatization of the NHS service, which has seen the NHS service almost on its knees, and an enormous amount of corruption amongst members of parliament, which includes extreme and outright lies by the previous Prime Minister, Boris Johnson. So I think restoring public trust and restoring cohesion in society must be absolute goals. Whether this can be achieved by someone who's actually committed to profits for the rich is something which remains to be seen. But meanwhile, there are plenty of people in India who are themselves religious and ethnic supremacists, Hindu supremacists, and who have suppressed brutally many different ethnic minority populations and religious minority populations within India. And those people are celebrating this appointment as a win for themselves, when in actual fact, it's a loss for the world. Thank you very much.